Matovu ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael, kinechalim nitayu. The Jewish people's presence should be felt from afar. That is the impact that Jewish values and Jewish tradition should have on the world, says Bilaam, like streams spread out. Kaganot alei lahar, like gardens by a river. Ka'ahalim, which Rashi defines as beautiful spices. Nata Hashem, that Hashem planted. Ka'arazim alei mayim, like cedars by water. The Gemara in Masechet Berachot, Daf Tet Zayin Amud Aleph, picks up on the juxtaposition between ahalim and nachalim, and says a beautiful thing as follows: Amar Rabbi Chama Rabbi Chanina, lama nismecha ahalim lanachalim. Why is the phrase ahalim juxtaposed to the nachalim? Lo ma'ulecha, to teach you, ma nachalim, just like a body of water, ma'ilin ta'adam mitzvah can transform a person from one state, i.e. ritual impurity, to that of ritual purity. Af ahalim, so too tents, i.e. the opportunity to be as part of a bet midrash or a bet knesset. Ma'alin et ha'adam mikaf chova lekaf zechut. And there's a machloket with shonim as to what exactly is the juxtaposition here. We know the pasuk starts kinnachalim, like rivers. But what is the ohel that it is juxtaposed to? Is this the juxtaposition of matovu ohalecha Yaakov, and that is then juxtaposed to kinnachalim? Or is it the juxtaposition of kinnachalim to the ahalim, these spices which come later in the pasuk? And this in fact is a machloket between Rashi and Tosfot in Masechet Berachot Daf Tet Zayin Amud Aleph. And Rashi in Masechet Berachot says that the correct juxtaposition is kinnachalim at the beginning of the pasuk to ahalim later in the pasuk, i.e. Rashi in Masechet Berachot isn't reading ahalim as these spices, but rather as ohel, like matovu ohalecha Yaakov. But this is very difficult shitta to understand within Rashi. First of all, he himself in the Chumash explains it completely differently, that this is supposed to be read ahalim, like the spices. And secondly, what forces Rashi to change his mind and explain against the pashtut that this is referring to matovu ohalecha Yaakov? Seemingly, there's something a bit strange. So the Torah Tamima provides a genius resolution. It says as follows: whenever the Gemara uses this lashon of lama nismecha x to y, for example, in last week's Parashat, lama nismecha mitat Miriam le Parashat Para, or lama nismecha mitat Sarah la akedat Yitzchak, the first thing listed after the lama nismecha is always the second event. And therefore, if the Gemara is saying lama nismecha ahalim lanachalim, the first thing listed must then be the second event, which is ahalim, the spices, and not the ohel of matovu ohalecha Yaakov. Now the assumption behind all of this, lama nismecha x to y, is obviously a Mukdam u-meuchar Ba-Torah. And we saw a couple of weeks ago in Parashat Korach a big debate between the Ramban and the Ibn Ezra. What's the scope of this? Is there a presumption that the Torah is in chronological order, except whether the date and a good reason suggests otherwise? Or really are we able to use Savara and other tools to determine what would fit most sense, and Korach maybe would fit the most sense with the elevation of the Levium? And similarly here, if lama nismecha x to y, there must be a reason. It's not just because there's basic chronology. Why, in general, do we say ein Mukdam u-meuchar Ba-Torah? Any book, and especially the Torah, has certain axioms. This is a sui generis book. This is a book which has its own rules, and especially because it's a divine book, comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And therefore, some explain that why do we say ein Mukdam u-meuchar Ba-Torah? Because it's reflecting the divine himself. Since HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself is outside of time and space, so too the Torah is also going to be outside of time and space. Shabbat Shalom.